Am I the asshole for letting my daughter wear whatever she is comfortable in my house? Okay, this requires some important details. First, I am a 37M.
My ex-wife, Deanna, 36F, and I have 2 kids. Our daughter, Jane, 12F, and our son, Eddie, 10M.
We got married semi-young at 23 and 24. We divorced amicably 5 years ago.
Deanna recently married a man she has been seeing for a few years, who I will call A. Something I need to bring up here is that I am half Mexican, Deanna is a white woman, and A is of Middle Eastern descent. While I wouldn't say A and I are friends, I do think he's a pretty nice guy, and seems like a really good match for Deanna. The kids also like him, so that's another bonus in my book. Deanna and I split custody of the kids. However, Deanna and I got married 2 months ago. Since then, Deanna has chosen to wear a covering, which I am sorry but the name slips my mind.
She converted to A's religion as well.
Which, I'm very happy about if that's what she wants. But last week, when she dropped off the kids, I was surprised to see that Jane was wearing one as well. But, I assumed she must have wanted to wear it and was maybe deciding to convert her faith as well, so I didn't bring it up. I feel that she's old enough to decide for herself, and as an atheist myself, I'm all for my children choosing what they believe. A few days ago, I was going to go see a movie with my kids but told them I had to finish some paperwork in my office first, which took about half an hour. When I walked back into the living room, Jane was wearing one of Eddie's t-shirts and a pair of shorts.
We had a conversation which kind of went like this.
Me, what's going on? Jane, are you supposed to take off your covering?
I don't really know how any of it works, sorry if that offends anyone. Eddie, she hates wearing that stuff. So I let her borrow some of my clothes. Jane, yeah Dad, I hate it. Mom makes me wear it. She says I have to wear it all the time, even at your house.
Me, so, you aren't choosing to wear it?
Jane, no. I never want to wear it again.
I checked her bag, and sure enough, it contained tank tops, underwear, and the coverings, which cover the hair and body, but not the face.
I took the kids on a quick Target trip before the movie to get Jane some clothes of her liking. 2 days ago, when Deanna came by to pick up the kids, she flipped out on Jane for not wearing the traditional clothing.
Deanna and I got into a heated argument, and I told her that Jane shouldn't have to wear the covering if she doesn't want to, especially because it's very hot in our city. Deanna argued that she and the kids are now different AMD follow a stricter religion. I might be the a-hole because I argued back that it is stupid that the religion would force young girls to cover up so much all the time and be so strict about it. Deanna took offense, and left with the kids. I feel bad because I don't want to insult a wild country or countries, but I don't think my daughter should have to wear anything she doesn't want to.
Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, and you better take steps in court to make sure you shut this nonsense down now.
Jane is only 12? They are going to make her life a living hell in her teens if you allow this to continue.
This is not a my house my rules situation, and it isn't about comfort or solidarity or being PC.
Your wife is allowing her husband to force his own religion on your daughter, a child over whom he has absolutely no authority.
Shut it down.
Go back to court and get custody of your daughter before they take her out of the country. I'd head to court.
She, the mom, is an asshole to force her daughter, and son, too, into a religion just because she married someone.
Not the asshole in any way.
Stand up for your daughter and her choices.
Your ex and her new husband are attempting to forcibly convert your daughter against her will and live by the values of a faith she doesn't practice.
There should be more anger in this post. Protect your daughter. This is how brainwashing starts. The mother should be protecting her kid from her new husband, and she obviously isn't, so you need to involve the law, social services, etc.
The kid has already said they don't like wearing it.
Red flags all over this one. Not the asshole, shut this shit down.
Not the asshole, you are both parents in co-custody. Unless if ordered by a court, may be coming. Jane can wear whatever you and she decide is fine while you have her on your parenting time at your house. It doesn't matter what your wife and new hubby decide is best for them at their house. They can parent their way at their house, and you can parent the way you wish at your house.
But be prepared if this taken to family court. Am I the asshole for getting angry when girlfriend wore one of my watches and criticized my spending habits? I am 22M, she's 23F. I've been collecting high-end watches for several years. It's a hobby that I'm passionate at, having invested lots of money into my collection. 2 days ago, we were at my apartment and I was in the bathroom. I came back to find her wearing one of my most expensive watches. She was on the couch, and when she saw me, all she asked was how it looks on her. I immediately got upset and angry and told her that she should have asked me before wearing it. She was somehow surprised and asked why it was such a big deal. To be fair, she knows close to nothing about watches, and especially this brand, PP. So I tried explaining to her how valuable and delicate it is and that I like it to be handled carefully. Then she got even more upset, questioning why I would spend that much money on a watch instead of investing it or saving it. She didn't know about my financial background to be able to afford this, as we have only been dating for a month. She felt lied to, asking why I didn't tell her this until now. Since then, there has been tension between us, IRL and texting. I'm not sure what to think. Am I the asshole? Edit. Some points people keep asking. I recently moved here from outside America, don't have a safe, don't have most of my watches with me. The watches are on a shelf in my bedroom in their boxes, cases. I was in the bathroom for 15 minutes to shower. She was in the kitchen when I left, and the couch she was on is in the living room, which is connected to the kitchen. Several years equals 3 years. English is not my first language. Not the asshole, but it's close. This is a boundaries thing. She shouldn't just be taking and using your stuff without asking, and she absolutely shouldn't be giving you the cold shoulder afterwards. However, as you said yourself, she doesn't know anything about watches and didn't understand how expensive the piece she took was. You say you got upset and angry. This is where you might have strayed a little close to being ta. How badly did you blow up at her? Bearing in mind, she thought she was just borrowing a watch and might have been trying to show interest in something that you're clearly interested in. I would put the watches in a safe. What if you guys broke up and she packs one or all watches in a moment of spite and anger? My ex took all my vinyl with him, claiming he didn't see any of mine in his records. There were some Eric B. and Rakim records in there, man. STFU. All he had was The Police and Cyndi Lauper. He just wanted to get back at me for kicking him out. I kicked him out because he wasn't loyal. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like there was a miscommunication about your boundaries and values. It's understandable to be upset about someone handling your valuable possessions without permission, but it's also important to recognize that she may not fully understand your passion for watches. Not the asshole. It's been a month and she's disrespected your belongings, your privacy, and is already showing her mean side. Just let this one go. Only dating for a month and she is berating you on how you spend your money? And she's picking up items of yours and just putting them on like she has any right to? Hide away your watch collection and ensure you have every piece, and then move on. She doesn't sound like you two are compatible, and she's getting herself a bit too comfy considering you are still virtual strangers. I think your response was appropriate due to the fact that she should have asked before wearing a piece of your jewelry. After you explained, she should have let it go. You've only been dating for a month, so at this point it's not really necessary for you to have to explain or justify your purchases or your financial position. It's not her business at this point, you've only starting dating. She sounds like a red flag. People should ask before borrowing something like a watch, that is common sense. She also should have simply accepted your boundary once you stated it, as it is very reasonable. Am I the asshole for not letting my wife have some of my earnings from a business of which she wanted no part? My wife and I had discussed my starting a business for a few years. I was under the impression we would be partners in the business. When the time came, I needed my wife's signatures on a few pieces of paperwork. She was adamant she wanted absolutely nothing to do with the business. In fact, those were her literal words. I want nothing to do with this business. It is entirely your project, and she was quite angry about it. So, I took on other partners. Well, the business has since become profitable, and she has recently been making plans for the use of the money I make from the business as if it were her own. I told her, paraphrasing, this money is my money. It is not yours. It is in a separate account with only my name on it. You said you wanted nothing to do with the business and said it was entirely my project. This pissed her off.
My wife also found out I altered my will to leave my share of the business and the money in the aforementioned account to my business partners and not her. She is now livid because it means, if I die before her, she will end up with only the assets we had from before I started running the business full-time and the money she made while working.
I told her again. You said you wanted nothing to do with the business and said it was entirely my project.
While I feel bad for the fate my wife potentially faces, am I the asshole here?
Esh. In fact, those were her literal words. I want nothing to do with this business. It is entirely your project. Okay, so she made things crystal clear. And as such, that money is indeed yours.
The fact that she wants to spend it now, not cool, and she sucks.
My wife also found out I altered my will to leave my share of the business and the money in the aforementioned account to my business partners and not her. Wow. Talk about an asshole move, dude.
Are you within your legal rights?
Sure.
You could leave your money to the Oscar Mayer Corporation in the hopes that they expand the Wiener Mobiles fleet.
Do whatever you want, but good grief, you really did go to nuclear levels of petty with this. Info. Why did she want nothing to do with it when you started it?
Feels like there is some significant context missing here.
Sounds like a shitty marriage all around, to be honest. I can't imagine taking this position with my husband, particularly as I've been our sole, primary earner for a while now and probably will be for the rest of our lives for various reasons.
We're a team, it's our money, he's my equal partner. I don't need to be a petty jerk about the money.
You are the asshole.
She's your wife. What on earth are you doing? You seem to be taking it personally that she wasn't willing to be your business partner, but in my house, if one partner benefits, the other does, too.
This doesn't mean you need to shower her with gifts, but shoot, you could certainly use this money to redo a bathroom or something.
As far as the will stuff goes, geez.
I truly don't get it. You could very easily ensure she receives a buyout or something from your other partners. I think you need to take some time to figure out why you never got over this.
Shot in the dark. I guess you took her refusal as a lack of belief in you, but you shouldn't destroy your marriage by trying to prove her wrong.
You are the asshole. You might as well divorce now and get it over with.
You're married.
This is the women you claim to love.
But it sounds more like a business arrangement gone bad.
Info. Did you talk about finances before marriage? Was it always assumed you would have separate finances, or were you planning on merging them from the very beginning?
Did you warn her you wouldn't be sharing the money when she said she didn't want to be a part of it?
If she's smart, she's packing. Would I be the asshole for refusing to watch my sister's toddler while she gives birth? I, 32F, don't have children of my own.
My sister, 39F, let's call her Sarah, is about to have her third child.
Little bit of background before we get into it. All of Sarah's children have different fathers.
Baby 1, the father was baby trapped and is no longer in the picture. That child is now 15. Baby 2, Sarah made a deal with a random man on the internet to get her pregnant and sign away his parental rights. That child is now 2. Baby 3 is the product of a one-night stand with a married man.
Sarah has always wanted a family but never settled down as she prefers to play the field, so to speak. Our parent has given Sarah over $100K in the last decade as she chronically lives outside of her means financially, even though she has steady employment and makes a very good wage. When baby 2 was born, I took Sarah to the hospital a few cities over and took care of her firstborn child, all while working full-time. Sarah was in the hospital for about a week. When I lost my job 2 months ago, Sarah announced to the family, my parent and other siblings, that since I no longer have a job, I would be watching her 2-year-old while she gives birth. Sarah didn't ask me to watch her child, nor did I offer. Sarah then texted me a few days ago asking if I was prepared to watch her youngest still, as she is due this month. Of course I said yes, she's family. But then Sarah implied that I was incapable of babysitting her toddler at my own house as I don't have any food and I wouldn't be able to bath the child. I was taken aback by this.
I don't currently have snack food for a 2-year-old in my house, but my city does have grocery stores.
And my house that I worked very hard to purchase on my own without a payout from my parent is equipped with a fully functional bathroom. I am extremely upset by the entitlement of Sarah. So much so that I suggested she have another family member babysit for her. She ignored the suggestion. I feel as though her love for her family is dependent on what she is receiving from them, and I'm afraid if I refuse to cater to her needs that she will start another family feud.
YWNBTA.
Sarah is clearly taking advantage of you.
Simply assuming you'd watch the toddler without being asked first is her first asshole move. At least in this particular interaction, she clearly has made other asshole moves all along. Then she compounds it by making it sound like you're incapable of safely caring for the toddler in your own home. You have every right to refuse to watch the toddler and draw boundaries here around Sarah's disrespectful treatment of you.
Not the asshole. I don't even know where to start with her. I would have told her when I was informed that I was again babysitting her kid that actually, I only babysit when I'm asked.
And then if I'm not capable of taking care of her kid at my own place where I'm comfortable, then she's capable of finding alternate care.
I wouldn't want to feed her kid motor oil or Red Bull or something. If avoiding a family feud means having to swallow her BS, I might go for the conflict and just be done with it. Not the asshole.
As soon as Sarah announced publicly that I would be on babysitting duty, she would have gotten a very public, "You never asked me."
Because screw people who don't ask. She might. But I have only known of her existence for 45 seconds and I already don't like her, so I say let her. Presumably there are in fact other family members that could watch her children, your parents if no one else, since that might be too much for the 15-year-old. And I'd leave it on her. I've been thinking about what you said. I wasn't concerned before, but now that you've mentioned it, I am, and I agree, I shouldn't be babysitting her.
It's better that I don't actually, so I can focus on being more capable in all areas of my life.
I think I should take the rest of this month and maybe the next to do a deep dive into how I can do that.
Have you said no?
If you haven't, then this is on you. People will only do what you allow them to do to you. Something is seriously broken with your sis too with all them kids. Woman shrugging, medium dark skin tone. Not the asshole for refusing to babysit a 2-year-old toddler. However, this started a while ago. You are the asshole for not having a spine and allowing yourself to be bullied. She can find someone else to do her bidding. If your family complains, ask them why they can't babysit.